So the Annapolis Heritage Society manage 3 museums in the Annapolis Royal area. We have the Sinclair Inn Museum, the Odell House Museum, which also houses the Genealogy Center and Archives, as well as North Hills Museum over on the Granville Ferry side. The oldest of our establishments, chronologically, is the Sinclair Inn Museum. It is a interesting site, and it's a little bit of a difficult site for people to understand as they walk through the doors sometimes, because we really haven't shown that as a traditional museum. What the Sinclair Inn is a building built in 1710 that was joined with a building that was built in 1712, and the two of them came together to form one structure in the early 1780s, sort of just prior to the arrival of the Loyalists in this area. How do we take the 300 years of history and put it together in a form that makes sense? So doing it as a restored house would be good for maybe to explain a 50-year period of the history of the building. So a decision was made to show the Sinclair Inn in what we call a state of deconstruction. So rather than restore it, we've taken the inside and we've actually stripped back layers. We've exposed things so that as you walk into the front room, you can actually see 3 different types of lath that are included in the walls, or that were the material used to make the walls originally. You can see the clay infill that was put into the walls in 1710. You can see one section where we have a 1710 horizontal wainscoting, and above that a lovely section of 1950s wallboard. So it's a building that tells its stories through the people who have been there and the changes that people have brought to the building. So the Odell House Museum is really the nerve center of the Annapolis Heritage Society. Built about 1869, for Annapolis Royal, we'd say this is a middle-aged to somewhere near brand new building. Built right down on the waterfront of Annapolis Royal, and was built as an inn and tavern. In this building we have a number of events. We have put on in the backyard various children's workshops and activities through the summer. We had quite a fun children's drama series that we were doing there this summer. The third of our sites is North Hills Museum. North Hills is it's a very different museum. Unlike the museum that I'm sitting in right now, which is shown as a period house, the collection in the building is mostly Georgian, and comes from the estate of a gentleman named Robert Patterson. He also brought to it an absolutely fabulous collection of English, Chinese, Japanese, European antiques from the 18th century. But one of the really big events that we've done at North Hills over the last few years is the Antique Car Show, and that has grown exponentially. If you're finding history boring, spend a little bit of time with the history of the smallest town in Canada, and you're going to very quickly see that there is a absolutely charming and absolutely enthralling story that goes on in this community. But it's also not something that we need to be precious about. It's not something that we need to guard. It's something that we need to celebrate, and in celebrating it, if we can get out there and have some fun with it, then everyone is better off. So that's always been my personal feeling in history, is bring it to people, and bring it to people in a way that is accessible to them. Bring it to them in a way that is light and enjoyable, because that's what's going to make history fun, and that's what makes history fun for people as we go on down the road.